Hey, my name is Carrie Sargent. This is going to be my video for exploring personal virtues. And I just want to start off by saying that making videos is like one of the most uncomfortable things I think I do, which is so crazy with social media nowadays, but it absolutely is. However, with that being said, I have actually made a pretty long list of things, or at least my answers to the questions for this assignment. So if you see me staring off in either directions, because I have a huge computer in front of me and one over here to make sure that I get everything answered. But to start with, as far as the virtues that I feel like I possess, the first one is definitely gonna be curiosity. I'm a very curious person. It doesn't really matter what it is. If there is something that piques my interest, I'm going to dive deep into it. Um, I feel like it was kind of derived and started when I was a kid. I was homeschooled, and a lot of our homeschooling was pretty much student based. Like my mother was there to instruct us, but we had a lot of um, like paste booklets and things like that. So if the information wasn't in there, we had to go find it, which made researching like one of the easier things of college for me. But it's made me a very curious person. I've always wanted to um, learn strange things. Maybe not strange, but not the common normal things for everybody else. So curiosity is a big thing. Having kids and watching them learn and encouraging them has also been a big part that plays into my curiosity. So that's definitely the first virtue that I possess as far as the intellectual side goes. The second one's going to be the moral virtue. I'm a very compassionate person. At least I like to think that I am. Um, I can't say that I always was. I grew up pretty fast, had a bunch of kids really young. I had 3 kids before I was 24, and by the time my youngest one was 5 months old, my middle one had cancer. And so I was thrown into the world of unknowns, which made me gain a lot of compassion and a lot of empathy for others as well as the situation that we were going through. I feel like this is going to help in my classroom as far as students go. Like, you never know what kids are going through, and it's very easy to see when a child comes in and just is having a rough day. A simple hug, a high five, how are you, what's going on, it changes the world for them. And that is something that I try to do every single day. Every single morning we walk into class. So that is probably my favorite virtue that I possess. And morals are a big thing for me. They're a big thing for my faith as well as my career. As far as my civic virtue, as I stated not too long ago, my 2-year-old, or at the time, she's now 7, she'll be 7 in August, I had a 2-year-old that was diagnosed with the rarest, most deadly childhood cancer. And when she was finally in the clear, after about 7 or 8 months, I decided that I wanted to give back, and I decided to start volunteering. And I actually volunteered with um, a nonprofit whose child actually passed away to the same cancer. His mother started it, and it was essentially a program where we gave back to families in need, whether it was Christmas, medical bills, rent or things like that. We volunteered, we did photo shoots and things like that. We went to the hospitals and gave gifts to children that were there that were battling whatever illnesses and weren't able to be home. And that volunteering has actually taken me to my children's school that I currently work at. And me and one of the guidance counselors are actually trying to get our school district to go gold in September for childhood cancer awareness, because what better place to do it than at a school? With that being said, that is my civic virtue. As far as the performance virtue, it's teamwork. I believe that sure, you can do things by yourself, but why not do it as a team? There's more hands, more brains, more ability to get things done in a quicker manner. Not saying that being quick is always the best way, but having a lot of minds put together typically comes out with a better outcome than just one. These virtues are going to help as far as create an inclusive classroom, because the curiosity is going to drive me to connect on a personal level with every student, regardless of what their cultural background is or their educational abilities or disabilities may be. The compassion is it's a given. Working with kids, you have to be compassionate. You have no idea what they're going through, but being understanding that just because their day started off rough doesn't mean that you can't make an impact in changing it. Volunteering is another big thing that is going to help as far as being an active participant in the community as well as the classroom, school boards, things like that. And lastly is teamwork. You can't be a teacher without working in a team. So having an open mind, making sure that I'm listening to understand versus just to respond, understanding that other teachers have opinions, and while we might not all line up and have the same plans, we definitely have the same end game goal. As far as how they align, this is difficult. This is where my notes actually came in. I haven't needed them as much as I see right now, but they definitely, as far as the compassion and teamwork, they're the biggest roles as an educator. It helps me recognize, I feel like I'm saying it wrong, but the Imago Dei, the divine image of God, you know, treating everyone with respect and compassion and patience. There is no way you can be a teacher without doing that, in my opinion. Otherwise, you're not teaching. You're just reading a script. You're not really giving them a role model, somebody that they can look up to, not just academically, but on a personal level. It doesn't mean that if you're not a believer of God, or you can't or choose not to put your personal beliefs out there, that you can't also show that in your teaching. These are just very, very consistent with the way that I was raised, with the Christian that I am, and understanding that all of these virtues play part in the kind of person that I want to be in the classroom that I want to create. As far as character formation, I know I've gone over time here, but as far as character formation goes, honestly, it's just the intent to develop deeper virtues, the ethical, moral, civical traits in a person that guide you towards living a purpose in life to be better. Having integrity as an educator is a must. It's not something you can have. It's something you have to have. I believe that it nurtures all of those virtues in students. Your integrity says a lot about who you are, not only as a Christian, as a person, but as an educator. And if I can be that model for students, then I am, in fact, doing the work of God. This is what I've been called to do. And so as far as the virtues that I go, hopefully I've touched everything here. I've definitely not read my notes like I expected to have to. If I can be that role model for other students with showing them compassion, having integrity, treating them all the same, even though I know that every single one of us are different. We all have very different needs. And I may not always have the answer to helping those kids with those different needs, but I can definitely play a big part in finding them the help that they need. With all that being said, I apologize for going over. However, I hope to see the feedback for this, and I'm excited to make a different video some other time. Thank you.